What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Oleksandr Usyk. Usyk names the heavyweight tank. He doesn't want to fight. Joe Joyce is arguably the man with the biggest hype train surrounding him in the heavyweight division following his dominant display against Joseph Parker in September. Despite the win making the British fighter mandatory for Usyk's WBO belt, the unified champion has said that he has no interest in facing him. The boxing public universally applauded the juggernaut 11th round KO of New Zealand's Joseph Parker last month, with Joyce's chin now being proclaimed as the best in the world by many fans. This has increased the belief that Joyce is capable of becoming a world champion, and the man who stands in his way is Oleksandr Usyk. Unfortunately for Joyce, the Ukrainian told Seconds Out that he does not want to fight the Brit. No one, and no, I don't want to fight with him. He's like a tank. Did you watch him fighting? No, I don't want to fight him. Leaving jokes aside, I want to fight for the belts. I'm hungry. Before I leave, I want to explain to you I need to fight for the belts. Let me counterpunch. We can look at this any way you really slice it or dice it. Usyk states that, hey, you know what? No, I'll pass on Joe Joyce. I want to fight for the belts. And it makes sense. It does make sense because, Joyce doesn't have that belt right now. We do know that he took on Joe the Juggernaut earlier on in their careers in the amateurs. And it was they didn't have headgear, and Usyk did a pretty good job for 5 rounds. You could tell that Usyk, at times Joyce was picking up steam. He was throwing punches. He never stopped throwing punches. And Usyk was just better. He was just faster, sharper. He could definitely counter that right hand of Joyce's each time it came, numerous of times. But I think Usyk, in this point of his career, wouldn't want to waste his time fighting Joe Joyce simply because Joe Joyce, he knows he's a tank. And Usyk wouldn't have said that about Joe Joyce if it wasn't true. He's a tank, people. He's the juggernaut. And I don't think Oleksandr Usyk would want to fight like that for just a voluntary defense. If Usyk's going to fight at all, he's going to fight one of the top guys. And Joe Joyce, I think he's juggernauting his way up to the very top. He's called out guys like Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Oleksandr Usyk, Tyson Fury. He's called them all out. And the only person to note that has called him out is my friend Frank Sanchez. I do think it's levels to this, and I think Usyk has earned his shot to fight for the belts. However, if Joe Joyce keeps knocking people out, that fight is going to be the fight that he will not be able to avoid unless he wants to give up that strap. And Oleksandr Usyk wants to defend those straps once he gets them, if he can get it from Tyson Fury, the last one in the queue, the WBC. So, Joe Joyce is a guy that's making a reputation amongst many guys. He's like that favorite guy's favorite guy. You know what I mean? And it just shows you that, hey, man, I don't want to fight that guy. Did you see what he did to Parker? And I think him joking about that, but look, sometimes you can joke about certain things that you're actually serious about, and I think, he had to clear that up real quick. Hey, no, seriously, all jokes aside, I want to fight for the belts. I'm hungry. Before I leave, I want to explain to you, I need to fight for the belts. Yeah, so basically he brushed that question aside and, answered with another question, But he did say, no, I don't want to fight with him. He's like a tank, and he is like a tank. Because the thing about Joe Joyce, I do think he got a little slower gaining weight because he was a lot smaller when Alexander Usyk fought him, but needless to say, so is Usyk, right? But I think that hasn't stopped his endurance because I think with Joe Joyce, he's just naturally filled in as a man. The thing about the heavyweight division, why you have so many deemed knockouts, because you don't have deprived or weight deprived people. The heavyweight division is exactly that. You don't have to worry about rehydration or just starching yourself down and taking the essential fluids that you need, to maintain, to function, to punch, to move, to walk, to talk, to think properly. You don't have those restrictions in the heavyweight division. Thus, that's why we see so many devastating knockouts. So when a punch does land, it's so impactful because that's what you're going to get. A boom. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Oleksandr Usyk stating that he does not want to fight the tank, Joe Joyce. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.